Thanks very much for joining my animation channel. In this part, we're going to look at creating a flight of birds. I really enjoy animating birds in my scenes. Here with the opening of the Safari movie, there's a bird that flies out of my logo. And then in two scenes further down in the movie, we have a flock of birds flying out of some bushes as the lion approaches, and then again later as the Land Cruiser approaches. So a flock of birds is nice to drop into your scene somewhere. It adds a bit of depth, and with the use of the templates or PNGs in this section, you can easily drop a flock of birds or a single bird flight into your scene. So the basic animation of this bird flight is in 18 parts that look like this when it's all put together, and as you can see, the actual bird goes up and down as it flies across the screen. So those are the moving templates or PNGs, and they also come as a stack of 18 separate static PNGs that you can place yourself. So to get access to them in the Locomotion Course Bundle, scroll down to the bottom and there's the section there, the birds, and you can click through what's available. This is just what we've looked at. It shows you the 18 frames static, and then the PNGs or the templates are in separate batches. I've called them long version and medium version and separate. The long version is it's a longer flight. It's the same 18 frames, but it goes across the screen more, and the medium one is less movement in the flight. So they're exactly the same. It's just the way that they've been positioned, so it's long and medium. So choose one that you want to use. We're taking this long version. Click on the zip file there and you'll see it downloading in the bottom left corner. Go and open that up, or it will auto open. And there are all your 18 PNGs for that sequence. Copy them, select them, copy them, and then go and create a folder on your system and go and drop them in there. Then open up your animation platform. In this case, again, we're using OpenToonz. Go and find where you've put these templates or PNGs. Select it. You'll see them there. There's 18 frames. And then load them onto your system. They'll come in a stack like that, all in one, so 1 to 18. And you can play that out. And you can see this is the long version, so it goes right across the screen. And it's moving quite fast because the spacing that it's been set to get it across the screen is quite wide. So to slow it down, all you have to do is reset the steps. So we'll right click there, reframe it, and set the steps to 3. So now it's got 3 frames per PNG or template. So it'll play it over 3 frames, and that'll take it down to slow it down. And then to create a flock of birds like we saw in the scenes earlier, you can just copy that and paste it into another column or level and do the same. This one we're using here is the medium version, so you'll see the difference. It doesn't go right across the screen. It's a shorter flight. Again, it's moving quite fast because of the spacing. So again, you have to reframe this. We're putting it on 3s again, and there it is. It's slower, but again, it's just going about 3/4 of the way across the screen. So if you put them together and you play them together, you can see they've got exactly the same beat, etc. The one is just moving horizontally across the screen more than the other. You see the top one is the long one and the bottom one is the medium one. So basically they're exactly the same templates or PNGs, exactly the same beats, exactly the same frames. They've just been set up to move faster or further across the screen. You can drop another one in here, and then you can start creating your scene of a flock of birds by positioning them differently and scaling them. You can rotate them, and you gradually put your scene together like this. Very, very easy, very fast. And then you don't want all the birds to be flapping at the same time. So go to the first frames of each column and stagger them so that they all start at different frames, and that'll make them beat differently. And then what also comes with this bundle is static frames, and these are basically the same 18 frames that have been used in those animated sequences, and this one just hasn't been animated to move horizontally across the screen. So it's 18 frames flying around a central point. So we drop that in and have a look at it, and we can just zoom in here to see it more closely. There's a slight bump at the end as it goes over an empty frame. The cool thing with all these templates is that you can change the colors. They come in a very dark black, 100% black, but on your software package you can go and select them and change the colors. And also they're all flying left to right, but you can reverse them, so you can have them flying right to left, or a few left to right, right to left, etc. You'll just do that in the Animate section. You just reverse the scale, the horizontal scale. It will be positive. You just put a negative in there and you can reverse these so that they're flying the other way. Here what we're doing is we're taking one of the sequences and we are doubling it, we're copying it, and then we're putting on the onion skins to find the end of the first sequence, and we're placing the second sequence behind it. So we're extending that flight right across the screen there. Very easy to do. And then we are going to set up a scene here so that we can animate it out. We create another column or level and go look for a background to drop in. I'm looking for a sky background here that I've used in my Safari movie imported, and there's a sky there. Scale it down to fit the frame and then extend the length of the background to the end of the play area. And then we can have the flock of birds flying across the background. We go render it out, there's 75 frames, render it and have a look at it, and that's how it looks there. So that's the way to do it, using these flight sequences, which are actually animated to fly across your scene or your screen. And we'll do the same with the static bird, except this time the bird won't be flying across the scene. The background behind it will be animated to move behind the bird because the bird's static. So we set that up and then we render it out, and there's the bird. So that's how I created these flocks here in the Safari movie. Both flocks, they're identical and they're just reversed. So the one goes left to right, the other right to left. So have fun with them, and I hope they'll be a great addition to some of your animated scenes. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to, then also subscribe to my email list by just filling that in as well. All the links are in the description here.